Hello guys, so on today's video I'm going to show you how to test your voltage regulator, if it's working properly or not. And so if you have symptoms on your scooter, if you have a Gio Regal, Gio Titan or Gio Titan Premium as this particular model, which is made after 2023 September. So if you have one of those scooters and your scooter is working fine, but none of the accessory lights are working, I'm talking about the turn signal, stop light and headlight. Well, it can be as simple as a loose wire, or it can be a problem with a blown fuse, or it can be a problem with the voltage regulator that is not powering any of those accessories. So I will be showing you on this particular Gio Titan Premium model, but by the end of the video I will show you how to test it also on a previous model, which is a Gio Titan and Gio Regal. So for this procedure you will need a ratchet with a 10mm socket. You will need a multimeter that can measure DC voltage. And let's start. So you will need to remove your ignition key, open your seat, and here you will find 4 screws that hold in this black tray, which is a 1, 2, 3 and 4. I already removed them to make this video shorter. Okay, now you have access to all of the batteries, and now you have access on this particular scooter, which is a Gio Titan Premium. You will see this voltage regulator is attached to the back plate right here. I hope you can see it. Let me, sorry, this is it. This is the part that you need to remove. On a previous model, Gio Titan and Gio Regal, this voltage regulator will be behind this plate, so it will be kind of hidden. So you will have to, reach it with your hand and find it. Okay, so the regulator itself will be attached to the plate with the 2 bolts. That's why you need this 10mm socket to remove this tray that you already seen. I lifted up to access this compartment, and now you will need the socket to remove this screw right here. So with one hand you will be reaching from underneath because there is a nut, and with your other hand you will be removing that bolt and nut. So if you're gonna drop it, no big deal, just like I did. And there is another bolt on the other side of the regulator, so loosen that screw. I hope that video is going to be clear enough, but okay, just one sec. And now, so I'm dropping all of those bolts on the floor, on the ground. Okay, now this is a voltage regulator. Compared to a previous model, it doesn't have any schematics, wiring diagram, how it's wired, but I will show you. It's pretty simple. So okay, so now you have only 3 wires going into that voltage regulator. Well, first of all, you have to check if this plug is sitting tight and there is no corrosion inside. Nothing is melted or burned. That would be the actual indication. That's why your accessories are not working, because the plug was loose or corroded. Now, you can always use a dielectric grease as a preventative maintenance. I would recommend for the future, if this would be the problem, especially if you live in a humid climate or when it's maybe raining pretty often, so the water splashes can get into the plug. So far there was not, no people that would have this issue, but maybe it's possible. So 3 wires. So plug in your plug, and now you have 3 wires. One of them is green, another one is yellow, and the blue and the black one. So green is actually ground, which is the input coming from the scooter to the voltage regulator, that's green. Yellow, that's also input, but that's a positive, which is a 52 volts. So you have 4 batteries. In total you have 48 volt, but in reality it's going to produce 52 volts when they are fully charged up. So when the battery is fully charged up, and if you turn on your ignition, because you have to test it with the ignition on. So I'm going to use my key and turn on the ignition. So turn on the breaker switch and verify if that your display is illuminated like this. Okay, now leave the ignition on, and with your multimeter set on the DC settings. Okay, now I'm going to insert my probe into the green pin. Okay, so you have to test it only when it's plugged in and the ignition on. So green, and I'm going to test the yellow. And look at my display right now, at my indicator, it's showing 52 volts. So my input of the input voltage is perfect. I have 52 volts, my battery is fully charged up. So I know that voltage is getting into the voltage regulator, no problem. Now let's see if I am receiving 12 volts back, because what this regulator is doing, it's converting 52 volts to 12 volts, because all of your accessories are working from 12 volt. So this black wire will be out, going to your accessories. So I am inserting probe into the green wire, and with my other probe I am touching black wire and looking at the display. And I see 12.5 volts. This is what I want to see. So if you see those numbers, that means that your voltage regulator is working fine, and it can be that's how you test the voltage regulator. So if this is what you see on your multimeter, everything should work, because there is no other fuses comparably to previous model. So everything should work, and your accessory should work without any problem. Now this little plug that you see beside, this is your extra plug, so you can have it for the future, like if you want to add extra accessories. So let's see if I'm going to touch this plug right now, how many volts I'm going to see. 12.2. So 12.5, I'm sorry. So 12.5 volts, same voltage as I'm getting from the regulator to the entire scooter. So I have this extra plug. If I want to add extra, you know, whatever you want to add, that would be working from 12 volts. So this is how you test on a Gio Titan premium model, made after 2023 in September, after September. Okay, now I'm going to, this is the second part, basically pretty short. Now I have a wiring harness from previous scooter. I don't have an entire scooter, but I do have an entire wiring harness with the voltage regulator from Gio Regal or Gio Titan, made before September 2023. So regulator looks slightly different, plug is going to be slightly different, but comparably to this new regulator that I've been showing you just now, this one has a little wiring diagram, which wire is what. So this one is even easier to work and understand what it is. Plus, on the previous models, Gio Titan and Gio Regal, there is a fuse. So if your accessories are not working, check this glass fuse first. Maybe it just got burnt, or there's some kind of corrosion and needs to be replaced, cleaned, and that's why you don't have any accessories. Lights are not working. But to test if your voltage regulator is working properly, do the same testing that I'm showing you right now. So turn on your Gio Regal or Gio Titan, turn on the display, I mean the ignition, and leave this plug. So look for this voltage regulator from the behind the plate that I've been showing you before. And now you have a red wire would be your input So 52 volts going into the controller, the voltage regulator. So red will be input and the black will be your ground, which is across the blue. So you will be measuring with your multimeter if you're getting 52 volts going into the to the voltage regulator. Right now I don't have a scooter, so I cannot show you that it's showing you 52 volt, but assume that it's going to be 52 volt when you touch it, when you're testing black and the red wire. That's the input. And now if you want to see if the voltage regulator is working properly and sending out 12 volts, you test it with this middle wire, which is pink, or on this side of the plug it will be yellow. So you test it, you insert the probe in those two, black and the pink in my case. Maybe in your case it's going to be different color, maybe it's going to be gray or green, whatever. So refer to this wiring diagram. Red is in, which is key, ignition key. Yellow is output, which is on the middle, and the blue, which is a ground. Blue across the black, which is ground. So if you touch this, even you can do it from here if you want. You can test it from here, and the yellow, and you're supposed to see 12 volts on those two. If you touch it with the black and red, you're supposed to see 52 volts. That's how you know that your voltage regulator is working properly. Now if your accessory is still not working, that means that you either have a blown fuse somewhere, or maybe one of the wires is being rubbing against some other frame or something, and you would need to open this entire loom and check where the problem is to find the broken connection. Same with this scooter. If your voltage regulator is working fine, well, this scooter does not have any fuses comparably to the older one, so you would have a problem somewhere in the wiring harness. Maybe it's been rubbing against something over the years, or maybe some animals been chewing like squirrels, and that's why your scooter does not work. I mean the accessory lights. Alright, well, I hope that was helpful for you guys, and now you know how to test voltage regulators. Now, like it or not, glory to God and glory to Ukraine.